What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe. I am back once again on the GhostColdMan.com live stream. I'm here several times a week talking about all the important topics of rock and metal worldwide. Super stoked to be back. Been a long day, recorded another podcast earlier, had some dinner. Here with you, me here, you there, talking MET, rock. We're going to talk about Sonic Temple, the largest heavy music festival in the USA, at least in terms of people attending and mainstream and central location. We've covered pretty much every festival in the time of our existence in 13 years. Gen X Man is here. Thanks for being here. We're streaming to live. The best experience for this is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. We're also hanging out on TikTok. You will not get the benefit of the whole StreamYard view, but if you're here, friend, give us a follow. We'll follow you back. Drop the tip menu in a second. Appreciative. Let's bring in the deck that I have here. Pretty big announcement for Sonic Temple's 2026 edition. Canadian Winter Festivals are, if nothing else, extremely consistent. Not always the best recipients of the best weather, but they put on a great show. They try to grow and improve every year, which I respect. They will see if bands are get to be too familiar for some people. I've heard that's a complaint. Maybe too many of the same bands over and over. But if you would go to a festival like Sonic Temple, do tell us. Let us know how you do. This cover image will bring it up again. It's shine shine down. It seems to be a frequent Danny Wimmer headliner. I'll talk about them in a second, but they are, again, similar to Danny. We just had a live stream last night about a hypothetical Peter Steele Type O Negative tribute concert that may happen at some point in the future. Now that the band is open to it and they have a live album coming out next year, they're mixing right now, or almost finished mixing. So was joined by Ghost Cultist scribe Wilcifer, who also has the Abysmal Dreams podcast. And we chopped it up about who hypothetically could even begin to approach filling the big man's shoes. I don't know that anybody can actually do it, but we may see a concert. Skullbasher, what's up? Good to see you again. Thunder Chief is back. Good to see the regular ones and the everydayers. Appreciate we are showing up at people's feet. So we did a big Type O Negative Peter Steele live stream. Also every Monday in October and coming up in November. Every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific, we will be dropping new bands for the Mojave Experience. Will take place in Joshua Tree next spring. Psychedelic rock, stoner doom, stoner rock. Call it. So we're doing that 2 bands at a time. So tomorrow is my usual Thursday night live stream, Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. And yeah, I'm back. I'm pretty stoked. It'll be a good time. We recap the week that was in rock and metal, and go over new music that you should be picking up, all the concert festival news, including this one, and that's not enough. I have another podcast, the English Musical Podcast, Beard Metal and Swearing. We are in the midst of our series on Alice in Chains. Last week we did Ace Frehley because we're all the Kiss fans. Kiss the band back up. So all these deaths, Ozzy, Ace, is a right child. But we bring it back to Alice in Chains this week. And yeah, worth the listen. Like and subscribe to that also. Listen to podcasts and also on And yeah, that's the deal. I'll drop the tip in for y'all just because this was one of those times. That's some tips, just the tip. It's, feeling tipsy. We are not corporate backed, and I'm proud of it. But also at the same time, it costs a lot of money to do this stuff. So let me see if I can. That's where you can tip us. Y'all, much appreciated. Comment there. Yeah, usually our tip menu includes, just some general support if you want to drop us $3, uh, glass of coffee on Kofi or a cooking unit. Those. You can be a real one for $25. And rate your song if you want to. Drop it into YouTube. It's super things. I will review your song live on this show. We want to talk about another topic. And then I am a music marketing expert. I've worked in the music industry for a long time. I'm also a professional social media and search marketing expert. So if you want to improve your band or your brand, your small business that has to do with metal or music in general, or just in general, holler at me for a consultant. Here's our cash in case you see it. And now with that out of the way, so Sonic Temple Festival announced their full lineup, and on the surface, it looks pretty strong. Again, last year was their record-breaking amount of people, 175,000 people over 4 days. You can usually guess by looking at a festival bill who's going to be touring in America at this festival or playing the other festivals. Danny Rimmer's other festival that takes place in the spring, Welcome to Rockville, is taking place right around the same time as Sonic Temple in Florida. We already heard about Sydney World. I did a little bit of a stream on them about a week and a half ago. So first, let's talk about your headliners, and then I will take the whole lineup piece at a time. And again, it's a spectacle. This is an overhead shot. It takes place in Columbus, Ohio. Not really a great tourist city, and obviously the reason this is picked as the location is it's central to everybody else, and it also just kind of makes sense logistically. And a lot of bands go through Ohio. It's middle, big square in the middle, Ohio. Makes a lot of sense. It takes place at Columbus Crew Soccer Stadium. So there's a giant. You'll see the map in a second. Footprint where the festival takes place. And I agree, honestly. And so, yeah, this footprint has the stadium with the main stage and VIP and all the things. And then there's kind of a layout of the rest of the area around the stadium, parking lot. Other stages exist, little villages, merch, all these other things. I'm sure there's merch in the stadium too. Because it's like the only one of these festivals that's in a stadium. So, like, if you just want to see the main stage bands, uh, price is probably worth it. And then here's that map again, so you can see how I'm talking about. So one main stage. Most of the Danny Woodman festivals have kind of a stage next to a stage, and this one does that. Hey, JP is here. What's up? Sort of a stage and a stage next to each other. The side stages have this effect where it's kind of a rotating two bands back and forth. Another fourth stage. The Aftershock has 5 or 6 stages, the two big ones side by side. The little ones. Rockville has 3 or 4. Takes place at the Motor Speedway in Florida, Daytona. So pretty friggin' interesting. So here's your headliners. And first and foremost, just in digging this for a second, My Chemical Romance, which has been, on this huge run. They just did these stadiums. They're probably doing another one of stadiums in Europe and the US. Black Parade, reunion, sort of album celebration. It's kind of funny. I was talking about My Chem, this band that I saw in New York City struggle to bring like 100 people out on a Saturday, and then to see them at like Aftershock 22 where they played 55,000 people, fucking wild. Lex is here. 133 is here. That's fine. Appreciate you. Again, if you like rock and roll, it's for you. So yeah, My Chem, My Chem always, post-hardcore emo band, but also like they're these guys. They're silly as fuck, fun. I think they're excellent and not for everybody, but they're definitely elevated to a festival headline. Also, Shinedown again. Here's that picture from the cover image. They always do a big pyrotechnic show. I think I saw them one time headline a festival where they had just constant fireworks after every song. It was a little wild, but Shinedown's not a band I run around and listen to often. But like when I see them live, they're enjoyable. They put on a good show. This picture is from the now defunct Blue Ridge Rock Festival. So you remember pulling out for that screwed over, and they played their show, and then the rest of the festival was canceled because of torrential rains, mud, and hurricane winds, and the band played in like the campground and flood set in flat truck to kind of like pick up the spirits of people. Which, was super cool. Give me the dubs here. So Shinedown, man, good. They put on a good show. They're not necessarily for me, but like they're some. And we interviewed Eric, their bassist, not too long ago about his solo album. I believe there will be a Shinedown album out in time for this festival. Also, Bring Me the Horizon. Boy, no band has been snake bit playing in America like Bring Me the Horizon. They have done some tours. I know their fan base is a little split. I think it's also kind of similar, like waiting for Bring Me the Horizon to do like a headline tour and then find out. I think it's a little wild for them and their fans. Like it's the same thing like My Chem. You paid like $700 to see My Chem, and then you could go see them at this festival for like $500 for the whole weekend. I could see you being sober. But Bring Me the Horizon, this is a photo we shot at Aftershock 2019. They have been rained out of 2 Sonic Temples and Welcome to Rockville by hurricanes. But they do put on a great show. I've seen them a few times. They've been quite good live. I just feel like TikTok is like akin to prostitution. Like, stop trying to upsell me on shit. Anyway, Bring Me the Horizon, again, good band. Pretty interesting. I think they play the same thing. Crazy. And Tool has, has already, Maynard has so much stuff going on for 2026 with Perfect Circle and new album and tour Pussifer's new album and tour, Perfect Circle's European tour, and probable new music. We are not getting a Sasanta tour this time around, but I think Tool is very likely to also be, usually Danny Wimmer books bands for multiple festivals. And I can see Tool maybe doing like a mini tour in the spring headline tours around some of these festivals like Rockville. We're going to get the welcome next week. And, Tool is a very good festival headliner. Most of their shows are about 2 hours long. I've seen them do a headline show at a festival where it was about their 2 hour set or their hour and a half top, maximum time, depends on the curfew, but Tool's a good way to close it out. They put on a great show, they put on great visuals. Next year is the 30th anniversary of Enema, crazily. I don't necessarily think that it's a thing for them to go do a whole album live. They did seem to honor some of their other anniversaries lately by playing some more regular stuff. Young Anointed is here. I don't know any Trey here. So Sonic Temple. Let's talk about this lineup first. Relax in the beginning. Just put it back to me. So let's go day by day on this lineup. First things first. Thursday, My Chemical Romance, Breaking Benjamin, Slaughter to Prevail, Dayseeker. That's probably a big slot for them at an American festival, and Behemoth. Those are all your main stage bands, and then probably also main stage band. Then your side stage bands include Pierce the Veil, All Time Low, Kareem, Cambria, LS Dunes. So that means Frank Iero is going to play with both My Chem and LS Dunes on the same day, maybe even within a few hours of each other. Hawthorne Heights and Jumpsuit. Also, Rise Against, The Used, Flyleaf with Lacey, Fozzy, and the reunion of Magic Central, Whitechapel, Diarta's Murder, Tilla, Body Snatcher, Carnifex, and Dismembered Tyrant. Also on Thursday, Magnolia Park, Catch Your Breath, Holding Absence, that's a cool upcoming band, Pretty Wild, Windwalker, and then I think on the same amount, there's a sort of a little bit for everybody. A lot of metalcore, a lot of different kinds of bands. New Bangers Pros here, Shadows and Strobes. What's up? Good to see you. Also on that Thursday lineup, Cradle of Filth, Dying Fetus, Cattle Decapitation, Napalm Death, Flesh God Apocalypse, Suffocation, and Necrogoblicon. It's fucking death. It's metalcore and butt rock. Friday, which has the aforementioned Shinedown as the headliner. Also, we'll see main stage bands The Offspring, Simple Plan, the new album out right now, Lorna Shore, and Zach Sabbath. Interesting. Other bands that day include Stained, Hailstorm, Stone Temple Pilots, hoping to see a Stone Temple Pilots new album at some point. Daughtry, Hinder, and Buckcherry. Ooh, there's a lot of domestic dispute calls on that stage. Sublime with the Kid, who's amazing. Seen them twice now. Incredible Yellow Card, Found Glory, Everclear, and Lit. Lit does not play often. This is here. What's up? Just doing a little Sonic Temple lineup rundown. If you're interested in conversation, I don't know if you would ever make it out to one of these festivals or what your opinion of these festivals are. I know I'm getting to be my back hurts years old, but I do love a good music festival. Also, I'm hanging in there. Hump Day, Wednesday night. I got my weekly show tomorrow, but tonight I'm just doing an extra little live stream. I thought we'd look at the Sonic Temple lineup and run it down. Other bands on this Friday include Story of the Year, Atreyu, Bless the Fall, Crown the Empire, The Lord Alive, and Woe Is Me. Also, Kubla Khan, TX, Paleface Swiss, Chelsea Grin, Brand of Sacrifice, Signs of the Swarm, Not Enough Space and Left on Red, RED, not RED. I'm probably going to go to that one in Joshua Tree, which is the psychedelic rock one, hobby experience. And I'm contemplating, this is, by the way, this takes place May 14th through 17th, which I'm pretty sure overlaps with Milwaukee Metal Fest. I might want to do Milwaukee Metal Fest as well as Maryland Death Fest, but that's also very delicious. And if I could possibly, if I ended up at Milwaukee Metal Fest Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I wonder if I could get to Ohio for school. So that would be kind of cool. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Also on this day, Friday, at Sonic Temple, Seven Dust, Static X, Dope, Power Man 5000, Mushroom Heading, probably one of their biggest shows as a local band, Soil and Flaw of all things. I love Soil, and I believe they have a new album. Drowning, Brian Combs on vocals. And Flaw, kind of came up in the third wave of new metal, and before metalcore was a thing. Flaw got accused of stealing songs, straight up plagiarizing lesser known songs by bands. Not good, but everybody gets a chance to come back. Your Queen Megs is here. Sonic Temple Saturday, which has Bring Me the Horizon as the headliner. Third or fifth time's the charm, y'all. Hopefully they get to be part of this. Thanks for being here, 133. Also, Marilyn Manson, very controversial. I think people were infuriated that Manson was on here. Somebody tried to drag me on Reddit about Manson and Tool. So Manson, who had something like 33 charges against him, most of which have been now dropped, has never been convicted or arrested in connection with any of the claims against him. I am a kind of believe all victims type of dude, but also, if you don't have actual credible arrestable case making evidence, you're not going to arrest him. Manson has seemed to have gotten himself together, is mostly sober. Last record was really good. So really cool. But yeah, Manson, people are divided about. And again, it's the same thing like Tool. The accusations against Maynard were all debunked. Rolling Stone, the New York Post, the Daily News, and Metal Sucks under their previous ownership did like actual investigative journalism. There were accusations made against Trent Reznor and Maynard, both identical claims, both from the same IP address, both from a teenage boy claiming to be a girl making claims against them. To me, that is like, oh, that's bullshit, right? Somebody is trying to drag me on Reddit and be like, oh, just the accusation, it seems right. It's like, yeah, you're projecting and reaching. If you have evidence, I believe me, I'm a person that, like, if it was somebody anonymous posting about this stuff, I would believe. I mean, oh, they protected me or they protected Trent. I don't think so. I'm not. Kind of told on himself in his book anyway. Yeah. So again, they didn't do anything. It's some teenage boy kid claimed to be a woman, wrote a story about them going backstage and having sex with them, which the Times didn't line up. Sent from the same IP address from different Twitter accounts, and it's the same kid, a teenage kid, and they, Rolling Stone and the Post, whatever you want to say, if you want to throw out Metal Sucks and other papers, Rolling Stone and the New York Post investigated this because they would love to drag Trent Reznor and Maynard. And Maynard told on himself in his memoir. He's, kind of like sluts on tour, especially with the Perfect Circle on tour. And he never had sex with anybody underage, supposedly, and he tried to get consent whenever possible. His current wife was like originally was like not gonna ever date him because she's like, you're a hoe and I don't want you. And then he kind of like cleaned up his act. She did. And now they have a kid and they're together like over 10 years. So whatever. So anyway, Friday, Saturday. Bring Me the Horizon, Marilyn Manson. The story so far, Architect, rare US show. I know they just toured here, but they don't do a lot of festivals. And Body Count with Ice-T for the first time at Sonic Temple. Body Count is done the other Danny Winter festivals. Other bands playing on Saturday: Good Charlotte, Motionless in White, Black Veil Brides, Flopping Moon, Palais Royale. I'm a fan, and Mira Effelkin. I keep seeing that name. I don't really know her music. Also playing on Saturday: Bush, Alter Bridge, Toporello, Cold Chamber, in a rare festival appearance, and All That Remains. So good bet that Cold Chamber, who is also playing Signet World, is probably going to play rock, which means there probably will be a Cold Chamber tour, at least a small. Mayday Parade, Motion City Soundtrack, the One Radio, State Champs, Citizen, and Knuckle Puck. You're seeing a trend about these types of bands. Also, Amity Affliction, August Burns Red, uh, Great Divide, Make Them Suffer, Alpha Wolf, Novelists, a couple others. And also on Saturday, this is again like that bottom bill bunch of bands is always pretty impressive to me. Sepultura, Creator, Carcass, Biohazard, Not, CKY, and Butcher Babies. Features one Butcher. Hey, probably it's we're just talking about Sonic Temple Festival. Oh, you can email back, and it's been a week. Just doing a rundown of the River Festival Sonic Temple, the Sunday lineup, and then I'm going to do one other thing, which is I'm going to highlight the big event type set called out already. Usually they don't reveal all this stuff. They did slowly roll out the lineup, which I thought was neat. Sunday's lineup is headlined by Tool, like I said. I think it stands to reason that Maynard's going to have a very busy 2026. Perfect Circle, new album and tour. I'm sorry, again, Lucifer, new album and tour. A Perfect Circle European tour, and probably a new single or EP. And then Tool, if Tool is going to play, granted, Tool is headlining this festival, so there's quite a lot of money in that. It probably will also do Rockville, and that means usually Tool will do 5 to 9 shows around that time, right before A Perfect Circle flies to Europe. You might get a little Tool. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun. Also, Negative on their farewell tour. Pretty neat that they're going to do the second headliner on Friday. Also, Electric Callboy just announced a huge tour and a bunch of festivals. Good for them. They're blowing up. Dance Gavin Dance. Not really crazy about them, but okay. And Death Clock. And we talked to Brendan Small 3 times in the last year, talking about like, hey, if it's lucrative enough, Death Clock will be an annual regular thing. They stage a different show and they come out. And that's the hope Brendan Small. Also playing on Sunday to close the festival, Godsmack, Lamb of God, Fable Beard, Avatar, POD, and Saliva. Also, Public Enemy, Amon Amarth, Anthrax, In Flames, and Demon Hunter. Moving on also, We Came as Romans, Polaris, Bloodywood, Throne, Thornhill, from Melbourne, and Conquer Divide, and a few others. Rice, Census Fail, From First to Last, with a name a long time, Attack, and Drop Dead Gorgeous reuniting for this festival. Just fine. And also Dragon Force, who doesn't seem like the really great festival band for me, but okay. Apocalyptica, Devil Driver, Hailstorm, Windrose, Spirit World, and Castle Rang. Kind of a fun thing for Spirit World and Castle Rang. Are there bands I haven't seen? There are bands I haven't seen. A lot of, you'd be surprised. There are a lot of bands I have not seen. I've seen most of my pinnacle favorite bands or something like it. Right? So that's the lineup as a whole. And just to talk about pricing for a second. So they have all passes on sale. Single day, 4-day, GA plus VIP experiences, which I think for this festival is the only gaming festival, again, in a sports stadium for the main stage. You can like get a suite in the stadium for, the festival. That is not fun. So, May 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th at Historic Stadium in Columbus, 140 plus bands, of rock, metal, and punk. 5 stages for 2026. I don't always think this is a smart thing. Okay. Darkness is in here too. I might have missed them. So here are the sort of call outs by the festival. Megadeth's farewell tour. Body Count with Ice-T festival debut. Flyleaf with Lacey Stern 20th anniversary of their debut, self-titled. Sepultura final farewell tour, they're calling this. We're supposed to be done this year. Cold Chamber rare appearance. Dragon Force Inhuman Rampage 20th anniversary in 2026. Great. Hawthorne Heights home state performance. Saliva every 6 seconds 25th anniversary tour. A lot of drama going on between current and former Saliva singers. Dixie Scott's got quite a good voice. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, new album out now, 20th anniversary of Don't You Fake It. Amberlin, maybe that's the logo I could not read. Amberlin exclusive reunion with original lead singer Stephen Christian. That's interesting. Snot reunion show, Egypt Central reunion show, Mushroom Head home stage performance, and Drop Dead Gorgeous reunion. So that is a wild thing. Yeah, Cold Chamber, and again, as I mentioned, they're also going to play Sick World. I would say it's a very good bet that they are going to also do. They're probably also going to do Rockford. And there's also like I said, these big festivals, bands don't really just go to Ohio at 11 o'clock in the morning. They're going to book a tour to support getting to this. So I think that's possible. And again, I think Tool will probably do some tour dates. Maybe bring me the Horizon does some tour dates. We already know My Chem has a bunch of tour dates. Shinedown has a new record coming out. They will undoubtedly do a bunch of headline tours. The Bud Light Arena. There's some draws there for me. I think depending on what that Milwaukee metal lineup is, I probably prefer to do Milwaukee for 3 days and then come out to Sonic Temple Sunday and go home, or go to New York. There's not a lot to do in Columbus, so they need to make this thing enormous. Very interesting time in Cold Chamber weekend. Stuff going on. But I think COVID and his near brush with death. I interviewed him and he was like, I said never again, and then I thought I might die, so I was like, life's too short to not do these things with your friends. So I thought that was cool. People always say, like, oh, what if you were going to die? Well, then I wouldn't change anything. I'd still be a jerk. I don't know if I think that's a wise space here. So, Cold Chamber, Seven Dust. It does feel like a lot of new metal and 90s metal. Butcher Babies, which I believe they're probably not just hiding on vocals. Anthrax. I almost hate to see Anthrax play like a festival. They're also opening for Iron Maiden on a few shows next year. So I'm really hoping that Anthrax is doing like a headline tour somewhere that I can get to see a whole Anthrax show and not just 30 minutes. But it does look like a pretty great lineup. It does feel like a lot of value packed in the 4 days. Again, there's not a whole lot else to do in Columbus except go to this thing. No disrespect, Columbus. If somebody out there's watching this from Columbus, educate us in the comments and tell us what's awesome about your city besides puppies and Culver. But yeah, that's the Dilia on Sonic Temple. I will be back tomorrow to talk about all the things going on in rock and metal, especially all your concerts and festivals, and interviews, drama. So many crazy things happen this week. Please let nobody else that I care about die in the next 60 days, 61 days. I need a break, man. Thanks so much, Brooklyn. It's great to see you back here. Thank you again for the positive. Greatly appreciate it. I'm Keith from Ghost Cult. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good night and be safe. Thanks for watching. It's appreciated. Again, if you enjoyed any part of this, you somehow tuned in, please like and subscribe. And lights on. More to come soon. Thanks for being here. Brooklyn, miss you. Have a great night. Take care. Everybody else, peace.